Hello and welcome to the Build With Baer Workshop. My name is Pat Baer. I'm here to build a model kit and to hang out with you in that order. But honestly, at the same time, I'm throwing the Bear Cave, the Lego, the site, the emote in the chat. If you're currently a subscriber, you can reply with those emotes. If you're not a subscriber, you can just say hi or do whatever you want. You don't have to say anything. You can just hang out. AAR3Y has renewed their subscription at Tier 1 for 4 months. Thank you so much for that. Going to hit the old applause there. You did that before the stream even started, which is rad. We got Aristophan. We got Bobby Dice Roller. We already have a stellar crew of folks here. We're in the hangout zone here, the pre-stream hangout zone, to see if a few more folks want to join us before we get going. Once again, I am zoomed in too much for my own liking. My settings were great, and then there just aren't anymore. And I don't know what I did wrong. But yeah, my settings are not where I would like them on this webcam. And it's fine because I only have tonight and Monday before I have to take everything out of here and move it into the kitchen. Hey, Julie, because on next Wednesday, I'm doing my next and probably last cooking stream. I assume I'm not going to do another one for a while. Hey, Harold is hosting the stream. Thank you very much, Harold. And also, hi, Harold. Welcome. H-Bomb and Friends hosting, which is great. Thank you very much. I'm going to just zoom out. Yeah, that's better. Yeah, that's better. Okay. That's weird. Yeah, I don't know. I said it, and then I look at it later, and I'm like, no, that's not what I wanted. Weird. Anyway, like I said, on Wednesday, 9 p.m. Eastern, I'm in the kitchen. 2 weeks ago, I did a cooking stream where I made a appetizer and an entree, and then this Wednesday, I'll be making a entree and a dessert. And I think it'll time out right. My hope is that everything times out well. That I can prep and then put stuff in the fridge to cool and then make some stuff up, throw that in the oven, and then take out the thing that was cooling in the fridge and then make the dessert and then take out the main course and then show you what I got, and I'm excited about that. I don't know. Hey, also, it might fail miserably. I've made both dishes before, but not on stream and under a time crunch, which is like the same way that my zucchini chips were not the best zucchini chips I've ever made. They just weren't the best I've ever done. They were fine. They just weren't top notch. The same is true for, anything else. It's just like, yeah, I mean, I'm just kind of figuring it out. Mac and cheese was good. Don't get me wrong. My mac and cheese was excellent. It was a little drier than I probably would have liked because I think I used, probably needed to put more milk in it, but I didn't have it, so I couldn't. Anyway, hi. We're waiting for a few more folks to join us before we get diving in. This is the intro portion of the stream, as many people know. And also, hey, I see you out there, okay? I see you, and I know that there are a few of you out there who come in late. They don't watch at the very beginning. They know that I'm going to BS for a little bit and then get building, and you don't come in right away. Also, occasionally, we're not in that period right now, but we used to be in a period where there's a cyclical thing where there are some of y'all that are not here for model kit building and camaraderie. You have no one to talk to about anime, so you come in for the second hour. I know who you are. It's been a while because a couple of you, and one of you now just tweets at me for my anime opinions, cutting out the middleman, which is the stream. And I still reply to that person on Twitter who asked me questions about my thoughts on certain anime stuff. But I know what they're doing. I know what they're doing. The kit we're about to build here is an SD kit. Here is the stickers. There's a lot of stickers because it's an SD. I may refer to this kit as a chibi. I will use the official. Hey, Lord Crashington, welcome. I will use the SD, which, it's different from the HG high grade. It is different from the MG master grade, the PG perfect grade, the RG real grade, the EG entry grade. But it's not a grade. It should be called S grade, like the small grade. Instead, it's SD. And the thing is, what I'm not going to call it is what the S and the D stand for because it sucks. I don't think it's meant to be shitty. but it is. It's a bad term that they should replace. So we'll call it SD or we'll call it chibi, but we won't say the D certainly, because I think it's rude and not cool. So we might just call this the Sazabi chibi or the chibi Sazabi. In the same way that there was a model kit that I built, which was a Zaku from Thunderbolt, and it was not cool, the term that Zaku was called, the full name of that Zaku. Just not cool. So we didn't call it that. We just called it the Thunderbolt Zaku instead of the full name that was on the box and on the instructions. This kit was released in the year 2020. Yeah, rebranding would be great, says Decidedly. Yes, it would be. We don't have to call it that anymore. Now, we can just call them shorties if we wanted to. Yeah, the SD is not great, and we can and will do better with it. The Sazabi is a big friend, and so it is very funny to see it small. Yeah, it's an X standard, which basically just means that it's a little more detailed than some of the other chibs that are out there. All right, we're gonna get going in just a moment. I hope you're all doing okay. I'm in a good mood, but my energy levels are weird. Lord Creston says, we're looking to get temps above freezing starting tomorrow, so our snow can finally start melting and disappearing soon. Hell yeah, Lord Crashington. This is a thing that you know, but I will say it out loud, which is a thing that you can do to make your life easier and your neighbor's life easier is try to shovel out any drains that are there. Make sure that any leaves that fell from the fall or came off when the trees suddenly, started dropping stuff. Just got to make sure the rain has the water, the melted water has somewhere to go, because sometimes people don't do that. And then the water goes wherever it can, easily, easiest exit, which is your house sometimes. Same thing with pipes, those bad pipes. 8-bit guy, good old 8-bit guy got some flooding in his house, which is a shame. But yeah, made a little video about that. Yeah, real bummer. All right, I'm going to go to the overhead. I am going to retweet my tweet. But yeah, good luck to you, Lord Crashington. I hope you get some melting. Been thinking about all y'all out there dealing with all of this snow. And sucks. And I hope everything's okay. So, I haven't done an SD kit in a while. I certainly have not done an SD kit since I started doing line work, panel lining. So I got my markers here, and I'm going to do some panel lining on this. And the colors I've chosen is brown for red pieces, this kind of lovely red. Love the red in Sazabi. We'll hit the black with some gray to kind of make it pop. We've got some armor, the backpack. We've got the weapon, the arms. Not a lot of black in this. And then there's only one yellow, this yellow, golden yellow here. But we will hit that with a little bit of black just to make it sing and pop. And as I said, we got a lot of stickers. There's a lot of stickers. We're gonna be doing a lot of work with stickers. So, yeah, as we go, including a sticker we got to put on here. So we'll be doing that. Hey, so talking about weather a little bit, we'll talk about a little bit about that. It didn't rain today, and that's kind of incredible. I love this kit. Yeah, the Sazabi, the real great Sazabi is one of my favorite kits I've ever built. That kit is, I did the Ruby Clear Sazabi, and it is unbelievably beautiful. It is one of the best things I've ever, model kits I've ever built. That real great Sazabi is incredible. And the Ruby, it's clear but red. Oh, gorgeous. Gorgeous. Beautiful kit. Love it. So yeah, this will be a fun little friend. Yeah, it didn't rain. And now it was only in the 40s today. So I did have to get bundled up. But I did go for a walk, and it was nice leaving my house outside of it being raining. Went for a nice walk, took a photo by the golf course, um, and just kind of like enjoyed the day. I was very happy to have that. Um, Made a point to get out there, get a little exercise, catch a couple Pokemon. Do what you gotta do. Trying to get some to hatch some eggs. Get out there, doing my thing. It was nice. It was nice to get out there. Um, and then I did a podcast today. I was on a podcast. I believe it's coming out on Monday. Of course, I will retweet it and link it during Monday's show. I will mention it. Okay, so we got that. So now we're putting this piece on here. The head is 5 pieces. 2 here, 1, 2, one more piece on top than the crown. So before we put the crown, let me get the crown piece out. We're obviously going to be putting some panel lining on here. B19 is this piece here. And we'll put a sticker on. We'll apply the sticker first, and then we will put that on there. But yeah, I got asked, like, hey, what's a good time? Hey, can we do this? I would love to get this podcast up for Monday. So, the sooner the better once we nail down what we want to do. And I was, trying to accommodate and all that. I definitely should not have picked today to do a podcast recording because, as many of you know, on Wednesday we played Jackbox. And then on Thursday I did my model kit building. And then on Friday I watched the Anime Awards and talked over it. And then today I have this. And I also had an hour and a half of talking on a podcast. And that's a lot of talking. And I sometimes don't talk that much during the day. So I did my vocal warm-ups today, but I can feel it. I can feel it pushing. I also had like a regular Thursday Zoom, so I did some, talking there. And yeah, I should have probably tried to do the podcast not today, but I was trying to accommodate. And I'm going to pay for it. I'm definitely going to try not talking out loud at all tomorrow and see how I do. But, yeah. Sazabi and, oh yeah, the Sanaju are 2 of my favorite designed mobile suits. Yeah, Sazabi is just an incredible, wonderful kit. Fantastic. This SD is not going to do it justice. It's going to look cool, but it's not going to, like, pop the way it would. It's still gonna be a neat little friend. We're still making our chibi friend and having a good time, but yeah, we're not gonna this isn't gonna like blow you away. Somebody seeing this isn't gonna go be like, well, the Sazabi is now my favorite mobile suit. We are hitting this red with brown. I think that's gonna look it's gonna look good on there. And again, we're doing the quick and dirty method here. We're just hitting it with some ink, and then we'll go over with an eraser, clean up whatever is there. And we're really just trying to accent all of the indents here, give it a little bit of shading, kind of make it sing a little bit, just kind of brighten it up. A kit like this that's going to have so many stickers, you don't really need to do this, but I do think it is neat to have. And also, I'm interested in seeing what how it looks on an SD, because I have not done an SD, any panel lining on it, because I haven't been doing a lot of panel lining. So I am interested to see what a little bit of marker, a little bit of ink, does to one of these. And so there's a spot here. We'll hit that there. We'll hit that there. But yeah, Zong. The Zeong is beautiful. I mean, look, I like a goof. I think the goof is a great kit. I'm a big fan of the goof. There's some suits out there that are great. Obviously, as someone who Gundam Wing is their first Gundam, especially I gotta give it up to the Tall Geese. The Tall Geese is one of the best non-Gundam mobile suits ever created. It is most likely the reason why I like Knight-themed mobile suits, with Knight with a K, is because that kit is just so boss. Tall Geese 3, incredible, one of the best of all time. But even the regular, first and second tall geese is just immaculate. It just feels regal. It just feels like the mobile suit you would make if you were trying to make a statement of like nobility. They nailed it. That design nails what it's trying to do. Just beautiful. Um, but yeah, all right, we'll hit that with that. Yeah, I think that does look better, especially on the sides. Maybe if not front on, because there's not a lot to see there. But yeah, all right. The head is done. Again, this does not take much. We got some connectors here. We're not worried too much. As I mentioned last night, I watched the Anime Awards on stream. I did a bit of a pre-show, and then we watched. It was fun. That's always fun because some folks like to tune into that who have watched a lot of the shows and have strong opinions on on that, and they have strong award opinions. And there are other people that watch it because they're like, well, let me see what shows are popular that like got nominated, and maybe I'll check those out. Like our friend Ash in the chat, who was just like, yeah, this is my chance to like see a bunch of names and see if anything make it piques my interest, which I love. I love that idea. It was a weird show because obviously nobody was in person. Normally there would be guests, and like they would do and the nominees are, and kind of give their thoughts or whatever, and do skits. There was none of that. The host was Tim, and the woman that often does the English voice for Crunchyroll, Hime, who is the mascot of Crunchyroll. And they were the hosts, and it was like kind of a half-assed VTuber version of Tim, which was weird but fine. Overall, it was weird but fine. The award show itself was like a little over an hour, and like a half. It was very fast. It was unbelievably, incredibly great, wonderfully fast, because there were so few bits. There was like a couple interstitials, and then it was just like the thing I was surprised about, and it makes sense because it wasn't there wasn't like a live show and like an in-studio audience, and there weren't like names attached to be presenters. There were very few premieres or teasers, and I was very surprised about that. That there weren't more, but I guess it makes sense. But yeah, I was expecting a few more. And a couple things that had like premieres are also going to be on Funimation, so like they would put their trailers out. And then today, Funimation put a teaser trailer out for another isekai that's coming out in April. And the teaser trailer literally has like zero text, and I was like, wow, if you didn't know what this show was, this would be so very unhelpful. I forget the exact, and of course I forget the exact name of it. It's the Saint isekai. The premise of this upcoming show is there's a young lady, I forget her age, and she is isekai'd, and another person is isekai'd at the same time. They are summoned. I don't think they died. They're summoned, and the person that summons her is just like, you're not the Saint. You don't have magic powers. And she's just like, okay, well, you brought me to this world, and now you don't want me to help. Fine. So she ends up just getting a job using the magic abilities that she has to help people, and then it's slowly kind of figured out that like, oh, wait, maybe this is the Saint, and we fucked up? Did we fuck up? Oh, shit, maybe we fucked up. So it's kind of an interesting idea. The shows that I'm most interested in next season is not an isekai, which is weird. There's a bunch of isekais next season. There's the Saint. There is the Immortal Witch show where she just killed slimes every day for 300 years and accidentally became the strongest person in the entire universe, basically, just because she just like slowly, incrementally got stronger. And she's just like, oops, oh no, I'm really strong, which is a very fun premise. But the show that I really like is a fantasy show about a dragon just trying to fucking find a house. He's just trying to find a home because it's not a bad dragon. It's just like a dragon that dealing with a lot of prejudice and a lot of assumptions on what's going on. And it's just a dragon like just trying to find a house and like hang out, and then uh, find somebody who was like, I will be your realtor and I will find you a home. And I'm pretty sure that that's like a demon doing that, or a god just like kind of interested in what's going on with this dragon. And I just think that's a very cute, fun premise. And I love a show that is like fantasy but kind of slice of lifey. I don't know. I'm looking forward to that. But I do like female-led isekai that are trying to not be sad, well, either wish fulfillment, or just like really sad, dark and moody shows. For instance, I totally understand why some people are like, I am done with That Time I Got Reincarnated as a Slime, because this season is not fun. It is now turned Tuesday's episode of That Time I Got Reincarnated as a Slime. It is heavily, it is not shown, but it is definitely implied that everybody we liked on the show is dead. Now, are they going to stay dead? I'm going to guess they don't all stay dead. Maybe some of them stay dead. But I've got the feeling that maybe not everybody fucking died in this last episode, but no, I should say this. I have the feeling that not everybody in this last episode, almost all of the main characters that we like, were killed, but are going to stay dead. But I think they were all killed. Is what I'm trying to say. It is very much implied that they all just got wiped off the face of the earth, or face of the magic realm. And that's a fucking problem. That's a big fucking problem. So we'll see. Okay, so this sticker is supposed to represent all of the little beads that you would normally have right here. So instead of that, I've got this sticker that has to bend. Only mostly dead. Yeah, Aristophan, my assumption is that they are, that they will be resurrected in some form with magic or some shit. Because there's still a couple characters we haven't seen yet. But here's my thought, right? I don't feel like That Time I Got Reincarnated as a Slime has an episode where every character you like died. I just don't think they're going to do it. I mean, this is certainly a darker season than the previous. That something happened to the happy-go-lucky character is now not that. There's like a lot of shit going on, and there was also introduction of a lot of assholes. But I still don't feel like they just murdered every character forever. But maybe they did. Maybe they just fucking did. They went for it. I don't know. We'll see. All right. I don't think the sticker looks good or is going to stay on for that long, but I'll press it down. There are little cuts in this to help it kind of bend around this. But I am pressing down as hard as I can with my knife, with my X-Acto knife, to get all of these little indents here to stick. But I feel like I'm going to hit this with glue or paste later. If there is a thing that is going to come up and be a big bummer, it's going to be this here. I'm actually going to take one of my pokers here, my spongers, and use that to kind of press down, because that'll get in deeper than my fingers will, or the knife will. But yeah, these are popping up, and I don't think they look good. I never like stickers that have to curve around a thing. 100%, I totally agree with you. And especially, as I said, this is an SD kit, so a lot of the chibi work is going to be stickers. A lot of this is going to be stickers. The fact that the head only has 2 stickers is actually remarkable. Usually they have like 10. So yeah, so I don't think that looked great. And hopefully it'll set and look all right. But also, it is a small kit, so it might be fine. All right, we're going to do the rest of these stickers here, and then we will get them basically the same that we just did, and then we will move on. I don't know what I'm going to be building after this. I think this is going to take the whole episode, the whole stream, I should say. But I don't know what's up next. I've got a two high grades and a master grade, and my backlog is a little fucking low right now. I will say it is a little low as far as kits I have ready to build. I've got stuff coming later from Premium Bandai, but that's like those are months away. I got some pre-orders for some stuff, but that's like I think the earliest one I get is one in May and then one in June, I believe. So, um, it'll be yeah. I gotta do some purchasing when I get some more income in, which is soon. But yeah, a little light in the reserves. Couple high grades and a master grade. I mean, a master grade is 3 streams, so that three and a half streams. So I get I got some time to get some new stuff, but still always a little worried when I don't have a huge backlog of kits. Uh, yeah, I hope you're all doing well here on a Saturday. I'm mostly hanging out. Let's see. I talked about the anime awards, and my major feeling was like it was fine. I vehemently disagree with the anime of the year. And it's weird because, like, to disagree with that would imply that I don't think the winner is a good show, and that's not true. Um, I do think that the winner was great. Jujutsu Kaisen is a fine show, but the problem is that it's like a 2-season show. It's like a 20 something or other. The second half, which is happening right now after voting ended, is so much stronger than what won. And also, Jujutsu Kaisen is really good, but it's not better than Dorohedoro and or Keep Your Hands Off Aizakin. Aizakin is the best show of 2020, and it should have won. And it really bothers me that it didn't because it is hand over fist better than everything else that was nominated. Uh, like Dorohedoro, I would have been like, yeah, I get it. It's really good, and it's a great adaptation, and it's surprising how good it is. But I would have been like, all right. But Jujutsu Kaisen, I'm like, its best episodes haven't even happened. Like, its best episodes hadn't aired when it got nominated, let alone when it got, when voting closed. I was like, that doesn't seem right to me. Any thoughts on the new Hearthstone stuff? So, I love the idea of basically, if you're not familiar, the past couple years they've done a thing where they retire a bunch of cards and make them wild only. And standard is like a rotation. It's a rotation. They did that. They do this in Magic all the time. Some people were really unhappy with it. Other people were happy because it means that you can like really focus on balancing a certain number of cards, and other cards you don't really balance, and it's fine. If you don't want to do that, you play standard. If you want to use the old cards that were cool, you go to wild. And sometimes they move things out and they retire certain cards and they do a bunch of other things. But it makes the designer's life a lot easier because they can introduce new cards without having to play test that new card against every old card for standard at least. And then they can tweak things in wild. Well, they're changing that by basically the basic cards that you can use. They're just going to give you a bunch of them. And some of them are new, and some of them are going to be old, and some of them are going to be the continuing ones. But basically, they're just going to change what's in standard completely. And that's really interesting and weird. The game is going to, I think, if like for people who haven't played Hearthstone in a while and always felt weird about coming back because they were like, well, I don't have all the cards. They're just going to give you all of them. And the new standard will just be cards you get. And that's going to be a great time for people to come back that are lapsed. They're bringing back some old cards in. They're doing a bunch of stuff. And I think it's going to be really cool. I'm looking forward to all the changes coming in for the Year of the Griffin. I don't know. I think it's exciting. There's some other stuff coming in. There's going to be like a new format, which I never really pay much attention to because they haven't really done any new format. Like I didn't like Battlegrounds. I don't like duels. I just like making weird decks in Wild. And also, I'm going to still be able to make those weird decks in Wild. That was the thing that I was like, well, I hope I get to keep making weird decks. And yes, I'll definitely be able to do that. They also kind of tease it, released a new card that they gave everybody, which is always fun. But yeah, I mean, I still have I always have a standard deck because sometimes there are quest rewards that involve playing standard. So I always have something. Right now, and I'll show that off on the next stream because I actually really like it. I got a card that uses Moonfang, which it's weird to be doing that, but I have a druid that actually is pretty fun and has won me a few games. It's not that weird of a deck, and it also isn't a deck where if the thing you want to do, if you like, you know, pull the wrong card and can't do it, it like you can still win, which is nice. But yeah, overall, as I said, I'm excited about the changes coming in to Hearthstone, and I think they seem pretty cool. Uh, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens. I think Wild is going to be just that. I think it's going to be wild and weird, and I'm looking forward to seeing what happens. Uh, let's see. This is going to go like this. Yeah. Good evening to you, Dirty. Did you see the Metallica thing? Yes, I did. Um, look. I think it's a brilliant idea. Cautiously optimistic is the wristband. Yeah, I can see that. I think the idea of you get your cake and eat it too, right? So you get Metallica. So you get headlines of Metallica's playing BlizzCon, virtual BlizzCon. You get stories about people who are co-streaming it and suddenly freaked out. It just adds to all the press of it because of the DMCA and people just being incredibly worried about getting copyright struck because there are people that were told by Twitch to co-stream that also were not told that there would be a musical performance that would possibly get their channels in trouble, which sucks. It's a whole, and also just like a bunch of news stories, and it's a bunch of nonsense. And then it's also Metallica, who, while their lawsuit against Napster came after Clinton created the DMCA, they are certainly well known for being against streaming of music and downloading music and all that. So it's just like the perfect storm of like a bunch of dumb bullshit to then end up in like Kotaku. I think it is pretty great. I do think that at some point, Twitch is going to have to figure some shit out outside of like, don't do it, which is their basic thing right now. Yeah, I think like outside of that, like, I am wondering in the year 2023 when we have concerts at PAXs again, will those be streamed on Twitch like they often were? I bet they won't. I bet we won't see that because people will be like, I don't want to do that. This band does not like. We don't want to find out if our music, like, if this is going to be a problem. And maybe some people will be like, yeah, sure, whatever. But I bet not everybody will. All right. Gotta get some stickers on here. Working on the shoulders here. Starting with the shoulders. And then we will move on down the arms. Bobby says Twitch has needed to figure out some shit out for a while. Yes, they should, but they won't because money. Yeah, I mean, it's the thing of, right, here's what has to happen, right? A big company, a big partner, has to have some issues, something happen to them, to force the hand of Twitch to deal with it, which will then trickle down to help smaller streamers. In my opinion, that is the only way that that there will be any sort of change outside of guidelines of like, hey, don't play music you don't have the copyright to. Like, I forget what game that people were saying don't play the audio. Like something out of BlizzCon. Also, there's music in it that will they were saying definitely don't stream this game or turn the music off for. And I can't remember what it was, but there was a thing that was going around of people being like, hey, this new game that people are streaming, you should be careful of this. It's also why, like, I think why one of the strongest games for a lot of people of last year was not a big streaming game. Cyberpunk did. Bobby, I'm talking about a game that came out like during BlizzCon, like got released, that people got free copies of to stream, and then were like, oh no. Rock and Roll Racing. Yes, the old racing game that has rock music in it. Yes, Rock and Roll Racing was released, like re-released, and people were like, everybody be careful, which is ridiculous. That's what it was. Yeah. Yeah, I know Cyberpunk had some issues and just yeah. No, Tony Hawk. Tony Hawk would have been a big. Tony Hawk was a big release last year, and you didn't really see it on Twitch that much because of all of the music. People were rightly very afraid of having takedowns, and that's reasonable. They are justified in being fearful of it, running into issues. Yeah, Tony Hawk hardly got streamed at all. I mean, some people did. It's just that it wasn't as big as it could have been because of the timing of people just being like, yeah, I'm not taking any of these risks. And which is, makes sense. I mean, look, so for some people, Twitch is just a thing that they do and they're casual about it. But for a lot of people, it is part of their livelihoods. If I got takedown, if my channel gets shut down, that is income I have lost. And in the year 2021, I cannot afford to lose income, which is, the same reason when I drop below 50 subs, I put up the banner thing saying how many subs I have, trying to push back to 50. That is not just because having over 50 subs is cool. It is because, like, that is a thing that, like, I am in a bit of a bind if I do not have that money coming in. So, at the very least, a low subscriber total means I have less money to spend on model kits to keep building, and I have to go into other funds. And it's especially with my my Patreon dropped and did not bounce back up. Sometimes when my Patreon drops low, last year it was dropped a little bit, and new people would come in. No new people have come in on my Patreon. And then next month I'll lose a few more probably, and I don't know if new people will come in at that point. So it becomes like a thing where I can't take risks. My YouTube, I take some risks, right? Because I might get a payout of YouTube this year, but I am definitely taking a risk with YouTube right now doing the reactions videos. The reaction videos are a gamble. I am hoping that by putting them up early, uploading them early, and giving them almost an entire week to live just as an unlisted video, that I don't run afoul of anyone before they go live to an audience. That is, and I've had 3 of them you have not seen because they have been blocked in every country, or I have not gotten a copyright strike, but I have gotten a 3 different times I've gotten like cannot be brought, or I've won 2 that could not be shown anywhere, and 1 that cannot be shown on mobile. So I was like, well, then I'm not going to upload this. I'm just going to delete it because like that doesn't work for me. I want people to be able to see the things I'm making, so there's no point in doing that. So instead, I just did other ones because I'm trying to, put stuff out that people can see and enjoy. I don't know which one that was, but it just fell. So, tight as it can go. Okay. Working on the arm right now. YouTube seems to at least have more barriers up so you don't risk immediately destruction from innocent mistakes that Twitch is prone to. Yes, Twitch is a lot of like, what happened? Well, you're not you don't get to do this anymore. And you're like, but what happened? Yeah, you don't have an account anymore. But what happened? What I do wrong? Oh, you fucked up. What does that mean? What happened? Yeah, it's a real shame. Real shame what happened to your account. But what happens? And knowing a few people that work at Twitch is unfortunately not enough to fix shit. I wish it was. I wish that I wish that I wouldn't have to rely on that. But I know that like if things get fucked up, the person or the people I know at Twitch will probably not be able to help me, which fucking sucks. Because, you want them to be able to help you if something goes wrong. All right, A7. YouTube scares Bobby because they'll straight up dunk your whole Google account if you mess up. Yes, that part is scary. Look, I'm not like thrilled about dealing with YouTube at all. But yeah, I am taking a risk, as I said, with that to try to get try to get something started with them. Try to get some views on some of the videos that I'm working on. Try to get some more attention. Try to build that up, just because it is, I am one video that people like away from all of my videos doing well. I had a few that did well, and that honestly led to all of my stuff doing better. So that's not great, but it's also a thing that I'm aware of. So maybe that'll turn into oh, this one reaction video did very well with some demographic, and suddenly all my videos are doing well. Distrusting asked the question, do you miss the work you did before the pandemic shut down? Theater work, right? Is that what you want to go back to? 100% yes. I miss it very much. I certainly was kind of burned out. It helped a lot that the work I had started to do, I was working with a small group with mostly young performers, and it was a weird group of people, and that was really fulfilling because it was strange and different, and I was kind of being forced to learn technology I hadn't really bothered learning and using, and it was really fun. But yeah, no, I miss it. I miss doing theater production, lights and sound for comedy. Everything from getting PowerPoint stuff ready and using QLab and getting those stuff together, hitting cues for stuff, or just setting up a microphone for stand-up and having the music together for that. And putting together playlists for people that, the house music list as people come in and go. Just cool shit like that. I miss all of that very, very much. I miss seeing comedy all the time and seeing my friends who were in comedy and seeing their shows and seeing them work. I miss seeing stand-ups come in and over the course of 2 months turn a joke that was like, oh, it's kind of fun, to, damn, that's really good. I miss all of that. It is a very strange time to not have any of that in my life, because comedy shows are still happening. They just don't need, they're on Zoom, and the producers of the show end up being the tech people now. Nobody needs a tech person for a virtual show. Some people still use some stuff, but I've consulted on a few things, but I haven't worked a show, which I understand, and it's fine. But yeah, no, I miss it very much. I love theater stuff. Speaking of theater stuff, a thing that happened, I tweeted about this yesterday. I got pretty nostalgic about my high school career because the lovely Cindy Genzano, who was my high school drama club advisor, drama teacher, and English teacher at my high school, retired, kind of because she was thinking about doing it. And, well, I appreciate that, distrusting. Thank you. She was thinking about retiring, and then, the school year ended, or it ended, live stuff and didn't get to do a performance. So she was like, well, I guess this is a sign that I should retire, which is a shame. And I was just thinking she did a really nice write-up, and I really thought that was cool. And I was just thinking about my many high school years of in the theater program, and learning a lot of the stuff, learning the problem solving, learning technique for everything from hanging lights to running running the soundboard and the light board and programming stuff and building sets. I did a lot of set design, a lot of stuff that ended up being useful in my life and my career as a tech person. I learned a lot in high school. I learned a lot from Mrs. Genzano and her husband Bob, who kind of ran the tech stuff. Because, yeah, what a lot of people who start off in theater in like high school, when you join, you are probably not going to have anything really cool to do. You're going to be hanging out in the chorus a lot. Maybe you have some lines, you have a little bit, unless you're incredibly talented. For the most part, you're just a chorus member. So you don't get to do a lot of cool shit. And I had the benefit of doing a lot of cool tech shit because I had plenty of time, because I was like man number 2 and salesman number 1 my freshman year of high school. So it gave me an opportunity to learn and to help out with tech, but I was a tweener because I also like to perform a lot. So I did both. And yeah, I mean, I got a lot of. Wait, I put this on upside down. Ha ha ha. I was like, this seems wrong, because it was. I literally put the head on the waist part. Ha ha. That was like, this seems wrong, because it was wrong. All right, whoops. I literally tried to put this up. I put this together upside down, which I have not done something that silly in a while. So that's fun. Random question from Distrusting. What was the best stand-up you ever saw? You must have seen so many. Okay. Yeah, I mean, like, that's hard. That's a hard thing to qualify, right? So I won't just say like the absolute best, right? But I'll talk about a few of my favorite stand-ups, okay? That I can do that, right? So, um, one of the weirdest people I've ever seen perform stand-up on stage, who is brilliant and wonderful, is a performer, and her name is Jo Firestone. J-O Firestone. She has a podcast on Maximum Fun, which is like a weird game show. And she is wonderful and weird. That game show is not her stand-up. Jo has a mind that is just the strangest, and I love her to death. She's so great. Jo Firestone is fantastic. One of the coolest. Hey, what's up, Ghost? One of the coolest people I've ever seen do stand-up, performative, odd stand-up that blew my mind, is Reggie Watts. Reggie Watts came out of music. He was a weird music person, kind of like in the same vein a little bit as Fred Armisen, who came out of music. He was a funny musician. Reggie Watts is a brilliant musician who years ago said, hey, do you want to do your weird music shit at a comedy theater? And he was like, oh, yeah, because I do weird music stuff that's funny at rock clubs, and they don't get it. But if I do weird, funny music shit at comedy theaters or comedy clubs, the comedians will be like, that music was cool and funny, instead of, that musician is weird. Why is he making jokes? Because, and you get this, I think you'll know this from going to see shows. When you go see a musician, you want to see the musician or the band that you went to go see, right? I don't care if you love comedy. If you love comedy, if you are going to see Flogging Molly, you do not want to see the middle act before Flogging Molly. You see a band, and then you don't want to see the whitest kids you know, even if you've seen their show and you've watched their sketches and you love the whitest kids you know. You don't want to see them open for Flogging Molly, which is a real thing that happened, and I didn't go see it because I know better, but I had a friend who was like, hey, do you know the whitest kids you know? And I was like, yeah, I know those dudes. He's like, they seem really good. Why did they open for a band I like? And I was like, oh, I don't know. Eugene Merman used to open for like rock acts because the bands like him, and their audiences don't want to see stand up. They're the only exception to that is you can do stand up as the opening act for They Might Be Giants. That is the only band I've ever seen where a stand up comedian did really well as an opening act, because the audience for They Might Be Giants are like, oh, that's interesting. Cool. They're not a great comedy audience, but they at least understand that, like, the band must like these people. Because that is the thing that people even think about that as opening acts that are other bands. They're like, well, if we boo loud enough or if we're enough of assholes, then the band we came to see will come out. It is just so weird. Reggie Watts is brilliant. Reggie Watts is incredible. Seeing Reggie, like, just be weird and wonderful is such a joy. Yes, I got a little tangent about that, but yeah. Also, They Might Be Giants used to have a band open for them called Lost Car, which were real wonderful musicians who were also comedians. It was Flansburgh's wife was in it. And Chris Anderson was on drums, who's a stand-up and musician, and then the one of the other performers, Amy Miles, is a comedian and beautiful musician and wonderful musician, beautiful voice. But they had like a band where like they were sister wives. They were doing this whole conceptual thing of who the characters were. They had like backstory to all their songs, and they would do odd monologues. And then there'd be some of the audience that would just go like, "Isn't that the lady that sings on some of the children's albums? Isn't she married to one of the Johns?" And you'd be like, yeah, they're just doing a weird thing. I don't know what to tell you. But yeah, you could be a stand-up and open for Them Up at Giants, and that's the only thing I've ever seen. Other stand-ups, because we were asking about stand-ups that were incredible. I think as a person, he is not great, but early, before he had a TV show, stand-up comedy concept one-man shows, the two one-man shows that Demetri Martin did are fucking brilliant. I think Demetri Martin is not a good dude, but is a great stand-up comedian when he has like a concept for a show. He's a great one-man show stand-up comedian, even if I do not think he is particularly wonderful. Look, it is no secret that the two head writers of his show, you know how he had a show, and there used to be two head writers on that show, and then there weren't two head writers on that show, and the two head writers that were on that show that then weren't the head writers of that show or on that show anymore were his best friends. Yeah, he's just not a good person. And I'll go on record with that. I don't care. I'm barely in comedy anymore. It can't hurt me. And also, it's a fucking not a secret. Uh, yeah. Turns out there's a lot of pressure on a show when it's named your name is in the credits, and you can't give up anything. It becomes a fucking problem. But yeah, when you fire your best friends, something has happened. But like his one person shows, I think are fantastic. Let's see what else we got as far as great stand-ups. people was always excited to see. I mean, there are a lot of them. Josh Gondelman is the nicest person in stand-up. That is not an act. He is just so nice and playful and fun. His stand-up is joyful and great. He is a wonderful guy. Mike Birbiglia is a lovely man, wonderful man. His stand-up is so. Mike Birbiglia did a thing that people aren't good at, and he does it very well, which is he started telling stories. He started becoming a storyteller that peppers in jokes, because storytelling is not supposed to have jokes. It's supposed to just tell a story and you laugh at the reality of it, and by the end of it you're laughing and having a good time. And stand-up is joke, 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 laugh, 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 poignant moment maybe, laugh, 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 joke, joke, joke. Mike was like, well, what if I tell stories but I throw jokes in every couple minutes to keep people going? That way I can tell stories at comedy clubs, but also I'm telling very funny stories. And that is incredibly hard, and Mike is very good at it. He is so good at it. I have all the love for Mike. He is so great. He also can tell great one-liners. He's got one of the best jokes he's ever told was there was a joke about he ended up expanding it. For a long time the joke was I was holding the door for a woman dragging in a mattress, and what I should have said was nothing. And then a really long pause, and then there's more to the joke. But for a long time, you never heard what he was going to say. And to me, that was one of my favorite jokes for years. A coworker of mine, every once in a while, for years and years, we would just, there'd be like a lull in the conversation, because we had seen him do that joke so many times, and then one of us would go, now what I should have said was nothing, and it would just crack us up, because it's just such a good line. Let's see. John Mulaney is a professional and an old man and incredibly funny. I am not going to talk about the fact that right now he is going through some stuff, and I will not say anything about that, because he is a lovely man and so talented, and I hope that he is doing better right now than he has been, because I know that he's going through some stuff. But Mulaney is just naturally incredibly funny. A story I will tell you this, which I loved so much, is Birbiglia came up with a bunch of very funny comedy people. Birbiglia, Mulaney, Nick Kroll, and some other people that you don't know but are behind the scenes in comedy, all came out to New York together from Georgetown. A bunch of them were an improv group. Mike did improv, but also did stand-up, and he would kind of open and do improv, which was called Letterman, and Letterman, and then their tagline was free ice cream. The name of the show was Free Ice Cream, and they did not give you free ice cream, but it's a good little bit for young guys just trying to figure things out. Anyway, Mulaney was really good immediately, just a solid stand-up comedian, did the rounds, did the indie stuff, did some mainstream stuff, was getting a name, and then all of a sudden he was like, hey, I didn't take classes at UCB, but I'm around a lot, but I don't know people. I know some people, but it feels weird that I get to do variety shows and stuff, but I didn't pay my dues. Could I intern and work in the box office? I might take a class, but I probably won't. And we were like, yes, you definitely can do that, John. And it was great. And then John was just like, yeah, I just want to be more of a part of things. I feel weird about it. And then eventually he was like, hey, I have to stop doing this because I'm interning on a Friday and I'm getting asked to do stand-up and they're going to pay me money. And I got to do the road. And we were like, yeah, that makes sense, John. You're incredibly funny. But I just always loved that. I just always loved that John was like, I just want to I don't know, be more a part of the community that I'm in. It was just always lovely. Dirty says, hooray, the last of the barbarians are out of my house and headed back to their own homes, but hosting my sis's kids while the power was getting restored. Well, I am glad that the barbarians are out because that took a turn, Dirty. Because I was like, I do not know where this is going. But yes, I'm glad that that power has been sorted out and that you are free of that issue and can move on with your life. Good to know, Dirty. Yeah, they can just start dealing with their own shit. Um, let's see. We're going to take a pause for the cause in a moment, too. Talk ways you can support the channel, all of that. Let's see. If there's any other stand-ups that I'm like, oh, I talked about Josh. Stand-ups that are great. I mean, look. He's gone through a lot of different phases in his career. I loved all of them. If you can ever see in the future times, if you can ever see Paul F. Tompkins do stand-up, please see Paul F. Tompkins do stand-up. Paul F. Tompkins is just a genuinely lovely man and very funny and great, and I think his stand-up is so awesome and so really fun to see. You mentioned, Lord Crash mentioned Hassan. Yeah, Hassan is great. I'm trying to think if there are anyone else who is Roy Wood Jr. Roy Wood Jr. is just fucking chill. Roy Wood Jr. is just funny and chill and so good. His storytelling, his stories are great. His stand-up is great. His storytelling that is stand-up is great. One of the smartest stand-ups I've ever seen is Baron Vaughn. Baron Vaughn had the New Negroes with Mike Eagle. It started as a stand-up show that then became a Comedy Central show for one season and is brilliant and important and great. But Baron's just like a fucking so smart, cool dude. Always a good time to see him live. Paul F. Tompkins interviews on Can I Pet Your Dog was fun. Oh, yeah. He's a great interview. He's a great live performer. He is just a great stand-up. It was a trying time when I came downstairs to find one drinking straight from the coffee creamer. Yup. Youngins are going to be youngins. They're going to do some weird-ass shit. And you'll be like, why are you like this? Why is this the thing you do? Why is this the thing that you chose to do? Why did you choose violence today? But yeah. All right. We got another arm done. We are most of the way done with this kit. We just got to put an arm in and then got to work on the legs and the waist. And the weapons are basically one-piece things, so not too hard. But this is actually not wanting to go in right. So we'll pull it out far and kind of... Oops, no. All right, so there's a trick to this. They are very easy to build. Dirty. So they do run into the issue of these kits are hard to... They require a lot of stickers. There's a whole sticker sheet here, which is bad in the light there. We'll put it there. A lot of stickers to make these look good, quote unquote. But they are very simple to put together because even like the head here is just 5 pieces. It was these two here, this piece here, this there, and the black in the inside. The easiest head you're ever going to put together is that. What we're going to do is to get this arm in, we are going to stick this wedge here so that it doesn't push back. It has some resistance, and that should let this pop in. Oh, should let that pop in. That should have worked. It didn't, so we'll try it again. I'm going to put a little more pressure there. We are just trying to get this to pop into the plastic connector there. Great, we did it. Arm fell off as we did it, but that's still fine. That was a little frustrating, but that's it. That's been the most frustrating thing of this kit so far. Yeah. All right, so we're going to move on. We've got to move on. We're going to work on the legs next, I believe. Yes, we're going to do the feet next, but we have to take a pause for the cause first, folks, because we'll continue, as always. But we got to take a pause for the cause. Talk about ways you can support the channel if you're so inclined. Oops, got to go to that. If you're new to the streams, hi, welcome. I'm going to talk about ways you can support the channel. All of this is optional. None of this is stuff you have to do. And in fact, I would say don't do it if you don't want to. Would love it if you wanted to. Would love it if you could. Would be so grateful. But you're not required. Now, if you're a subscriber, throw the Bear Cave, the leg of the site, the emote in the chat. Let the people know you're a subscriber. That is an easy way to show people a cool thing that happens when you click the subscribe button. You can use Cash Money to become a subscriber. You can also use your Prime Gaming token if you have Amazon Prime linked to your Twitch. And if you don't use it for me, make sure you use it for somebody. It's a great way to support what we do. Here on the internet. You could gift a sub, like Bobby and Aristophan and Harold have all gifted subs. That's great. You could do that if you want to do that. Bits and coins also appreciated, like Chihuahua Pugs and Dirty and Harold. But yes, and also, hey, if you were gifted a sub, you can convert that to a regular subscription, and they won't charge you until your gift sub has concluded. So you get the full month of being a gift sub, and then you get charged. That's cool. That's pretty cool. And I appreciate it. So thank you for at least even considering it. If you're not already following me, please give me a follow. I do model kit building Monday, Thursday, and Saturday, 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. Eastern. On Wednesday, I do a cool thing where I build, where I don't build. I don't build anything. Ooh, I'm adjusting this light. Sorry. There we go. I don't build anything. What do I do on Wednesday? Well, video games or something else. This coming Wednesday, I'm trying to promote this coming Wednesday. It's my second ever cooking stream. I will be in the kitchen. It's a Prepare with Baer Workshop. Instead of building, we are preparing a lovely entree and dessert. I'm very excited about it, and I hope you'll join me for Wednesday at 9 p.m. Eastern for that. Yes, my second cooking stream, and I'm excited about that. Again, I'm going to talk about ways you can support the channel. All of these are optional. I said, if you don't feel like joining me here on Twitch, becoming a subscriber on Twitch, there's an alternative, which is my Patreon. There's a $1, a $3, a $5, and a $10 tier. And those are other ways there. Lasagna and dessert manicotti. No, no lasagna. No pasta dishes after we did the macaroni and cheese, but I'll talk about it a little bit more. On Monday, I'll probably talk more about what I'm going to be doing. But I have a Patreon. And if you're watching this later on YouTube, what's up, YouTube? Thanks for watching. You can find all of this in the show description below the video. But I have a Patreon. There's a $1, $3, $5, and $10 tier. Join that if that's something you'd like to do. What else are we going to say? I have, one-time donations. If you were just like Pat, it would be cool. I'll throw you $1 or $2. And what we're going to do is just do that. And no time for that. I don't have time for anything. Was that person being a jerk? Was that person being cool? I don't know. No time for it. Sorry. Generally, when people's first tweet or first chat message out of nowhere is about your about how you look, they are gonna be awful, and they can fight it. They can. There's a thing where people get banned. They can request to be unbanned, but okay, I'll tell you this, folks. We'll take a quick pause here. As Lord Crashing says, always sus. If you are new in a community, if you're the first time watching a streamer and your first comment, don't make it about the streamer's physical appearance. Even, obviously, cis male right here, especially for someone who is non-binary or female presenting, certainly don't do that for that. But definitely don't do that for anyone. So, I'm going to get through my ads and we'll get back to building. But just don't do that. Because maybe this person is fine, but they made a very poor decision and I don't have time to deal with that. I don't have patience for shit. I'm not big enough to be scared of turning people away, and I'm not small enough to be sad if I've turned away someone. I am in the middle where I can be picky about my community and also care a lot about it. Yes, exactly. But I care so much about y'all, and you. Also, here's the thing. I care about you having a good time. I don't want you to have a bad chat, and I don't want a bad chat. So maybe I've made some people unhappy now and again because I've jumped the gun. But, if I fucked up, I don't think I have. Anyway, I'm going to get through this here. We'll get back to building. I have an Amazon wish list. You could join my Amazon wish list, or sorry, not join. You could buy something from my Amazon wish list, and not only will I build it um, ahead of the stuff I have working here, I'll even make a video about it. But I have stuff in my backlog, which I'd be happy to build. But instead, if you bought something from my Amazon wish list, I would build that first. I'm always adding new stuff to it. I've got some more nano blocks. I'd like to do maybe one more nano block, just to kind of see how the difference of them. Some Lego, some model kits, some expensive kits, some inexpensive kits, some high grades, some master grades, all kinds of different stuff. Would be happy to build any of those things. So if there's something you'd like to see me build, you can buy it, and then I will build it on stream, and I will thank you for it. And like I said, shoot a video just about how cool you are for doing that. The alternative is you can buy a gift card to USA Gundam Store. That's a little more tricky because you have to buy the gift card, you get the code, then you send me a DM on Twitter with the code. But that is another way to support me that doesn't involve Amazon, because I know that's a deal breaker for some people, and I respect it and understand it. I would love to live in a world where I bought all my model kits from either small businesses, either physically, in person, or online. I would love that, but I do not live in a reality where that can happen right now, and I do rely on Amazon for a lot of things, and it sucks, and I would love to not rely on them, but I do. But yeah, if you want to buy something from my wish list, that would be fucking rad. Because it would really help me out. Let's see. I have a Discord. You can join my Discord. It's free. That's a easy thing you can do if you want to support what I do and do so freely. Join my Discord. It's pretty great. People, this last couple of days, people have been posting a lot of cool shit they've been working on, and that has been great to see. All right. Deal with that after. I'll do that. Let's see. Okay, so we gotta go and some video stuff I want you to check out. Pat Bear's Anime Club. This will be a cool thing you could check out the video. I talk about where to start with the Gundam series, and I also talk about where to start with So I talk about where to start with Gundam, and then I talk about where to start with Gunpla. It's a good video. Check it out if you haven't checked it out. The other video I would like you to see is Baer With Me, which is a ongoing series where every Wednesday I watch something. I watched a video about a cool bird, and I want you to check that out. Is me having an honest reaction to a cool bird video. Theme for a cool bird, and it was fun. Let's see. What else do I need to do? Picture water voids. Wish list. Okay. Yeah, we're gonna talk about some anime. I'm gonna drink some water. We're gonna get back to building, and we'll do that. Go to that and cool. Go back to building. All right. Now I'm gonna talk about some anime, and we're gonna keep building a model kit. All right. Whoa! We're not going to just build a model kit because we have to thank Bobby. Bobby has gifted a ton of subs into chat for the chat. Thank you so much, Bobby. Appreciate that so much. Let's throw Bear Cave Lego Set emote and welcome all new friends who I will say your names out loud right now as they slowly appear. Gumby1, Asdasa, Automan 42, RN Mathia, and Trill Nesto. Welcome. Thank you so much, Bobby. We appreciate that very much. Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, throw some emotes in. New friends, you got some emotes. You're not going to see ads before the stream starts. Enjoy your free month of not seeing ads and having some cool emotes. I don't do subscriber-only chat, but enjoy this. This is a cool little thing. And thank you very much, Bobby. I appreciate that so much. So I'm going to talk about some anime while we work on the feet for this. And of course, we'll do some panel lining, put some stickers on, make it look nice and sharp here. And then we can do one at a time, or they want me to do two at a time here. No, we're just going to do the top one first, so we'll just do the top one, and then move on to the other one. But yeah. Uh, okay. Young Caterpie, hello? No. You don't get the link in the chat, so no? Sorry. Who are you? Why are you? What are you? Why would I put a video on screen? What who would do that? What streamer do you know would put a video link from someone? What? Okay. Bandai has done something horrifying. Send a letter to Bandai. What is up tonight? What is going on tonight? People should just need to be cool. I don't know what's happening. I don't know. Send them a tweet. I don't know what to tell you. But yeah, okay. We're gonna move on. I'm gonna talk about some anime. Uh, yeah, it is a weirdo Saturday. They made 1-to-1 scale model kit guns for their big old for their big old. Okay, I don't. All right. I mean, they're making a life size a 1-to-1 scale Gundam, so yeah, they would have to put weapons on it. I don't. Okay, I don't know. I'm sure someone has already sent me a tweet about it, but I do not know what you're talking about. Okay. No, this is a new IP. Okay. Are you telling me that Bandai got into the lucrative girls who are vehicles genre? Or did they? Yeah. Yeah, I don't know what's happening. Okay. All right. I'm telling you, it's just been an odd night. Girls who pilot firearms. Okay. All right. I don't know. Things got weird tonight. Uh Yeah, no, Dirty, I don't think they're going to make a yeah. I mean, maybe technology's gotten there. I definitely think they'll have a light up beam saber for that dang thing. That's what I thought you were talking about. You're talking about that they are yeah, no. Yeah, it's just been this stream took a turn for the weird. And it's fine. It happens. But yeah. Uh all right, Bandai's got a new property and it's weird and it's guns that are piloted by young ladies. Like, honestly, not the weirdest thing Bandai has put out as far as new properties go. I'm sure it's weird, and I'm sure it feels odd. Uh, but yeah, I mean, here's the thing: they made Hello Kitty Gundams. Yeah, I mean, look, uh, I know I got weirded out, but everybody just first off, let's all cool out. Let's all chill and cool out, and myself included. Everybody cool out. Um, there is no good out there like understanding of what etiquette is as far as Twitter and Twitch and YouTube and anything like that. A lot of it is just you figure it out as you go, and people set boundaries and talk about it, and sometimes people don't understand what those are or they didn't even think about it, and it's fine because the hope is that we can all like uh, figure it out and learn about it, and that's cool. So let's add to this, right? Um, there are streamers out there who really read every chat message, respond to everything, engage with their communities. I try to be one of those people, right? Because I got a small crew. I like to be engaged with what's going on. like to talk to people, like to communicate, feel like I want this to be not just me building a model kit and you watching me build a model kit. Other streamers, that's not their bag. That's not their thing. They're doing a performance. You are along for the ride. They maybe they'll ask a question and look in the chat, or they won't really engage with chat. That's not their thing. Everybody's a little different. But I will say generally, I would say instead of stop what you're doing, look at this link, yeah, I maybe take the advice of, did you see the Bandai announcement? And then I might say, no, I didn't. What's the Bandai announcement? And I think that might be a little bit better. It is a little different if you're somebody that has been in the chat consistently before, right? Hello, Zano. Welcome. If you've been in the chat a lot, like if Aristophan was like, did you see this, and put a link, I would be like, yes, I will definitely check this link out. Aristophan has been here a very long time. I know that username. If it is someone that I know in my real day-to-day life, I will be more likely to go, let me click on this, because this person who I know very well, Dirty, I did want to comment on that while I'm in my rant mode. Right now it is just Hello Kitty. There's a Hello Kitty RX-782. There is not a Batsmaru Death Scythe, and I don't know how hard I have to wish that to be reality, because it is not. But there should be a Batsmaru Death Scythe Hell custom. They can't call it Hell, and I know that. But there should definitely be a Batsmaru Death Scythe. And I can't call it Death Scythe either, maybe. So maybe that's wrong. Maybe there needs to be a Batsmaru Blitz. The Blitz Gundam is a stealth Gundam. Maybe you can't say Death Scythe and Batsmaru. I don't know if you can or not. I don't know. But it is frustrating that that doesn't exist, because I want it to. Gusenberg, thank you for the follow. Appreciate that. My brain also immediately jumped to Death Scythe. It'd be so good. Yeah, I mean, I just think that would be, that's the no-brainer and would be great. You could do, Batsmaru is the Zaku too. I don't know. Like, there are a bunch of different ones you could do. I don't know. That to me feels like the answer, but I don't know. Yeah, Gundam has had some weird partnerships, is what I'm saying. But my larger thing is just the idea that, the person whose opening comment was about my facial hair, they might be totally cool and might have no problems with what I'm up to, be a fan, be into what I do, not even think for a second what they did would be suspect or weird or make me go, this is not a person that I need to have anything to do with. But they presented themselves in a way that makes me go, this is not cool, and I do not need to find out if you are... I do not need to find out if you made a mistake in this, or if you are coming from a good place or not, or just like, probably shouldn't have said that right off the bat. Probably should have opened with, oh, cool, a Sazabi. That could have been your first message, yeah, I mean, my basic feeling on that is, like, we don't talk about people's appearances. In the same way, you don't start with telling me that you hate the video game I'm playing, right? Like, if you came into my stream and I was playing Hearthstone on, like, a random Wednesday, a bad first opener would be, oh, I hate Hearthstone. Now, you could say, I think that Blizzard has handled some stuff in the past incredibly poorly, and I am not a big fan of the company. I'd be like, yeah, sure. And if you are someone who has watched my streams consistently, like Harold has made his feelings known, Harold is somebody that I've met in real life and is a friend of mine and can definitely open with that statement. But if it's your first message is like, I don't like the thing you're doing, I don't need you to tell me that. Um, like, you don't have to watch what I do. It is a thing where, like, you can just go and watch another streamer, or or tell me in a tweet later, be like, hey, I like you and I like your streams, but I have a big issue with that, so I don't think I'm going to watch your Hearthstone streams. And I'll be like, okay, yeah, I can relate with a similar streamer. Thought that streamer was a bit overprotective. Yeah, I mean, like, uh, there are people who are defensive, and they feel defensive, right? They seem defensive. Like, oh, you can't. Exactly, Harold. Yes. Oh, you can't open with telling you, I can't tell you you're beautiful. And it's like, no, you can't. Because the person you get, when you open with telling a streamer, female presenting streamer, generally, or femme streamer, that they are beautiful, you are saying, I am the same as a catcaller. And I don't know if y'all know this or not, but catcalling fucking sucks. And we don't want to be that person. So, like, the person who is out there doing a stream does not need to know what you think of them physically. They hear that all the time, and it fucking sucks. You could say something like, I haven't been to the stream in a while. Or I don't know, if they have something, if there is something, if you want to say, like, I like your background, like, oh, like, you watch a streamer and they've got cool RGB lighting, and they've clearly put a lot of effort into the background. You can compliment that, and that is cool. That is fun. But, like, people don't need that shit. In the same way, here's the thing I can tell you. No streamer, no performer, no presenter in your life is ever going to want to hear from you that they look tired. They're never going to want to know that. They're never going to want to know you think they look tired. That is just a thing that I will pass along to you that you could take on your way in your life. Nobody ever wants to hear that. They will tell you if they are tired. If people share things, you can relate to it. You can be a human being and a person. I am not telling you not to be a human being and a person, but I am telling you just, like, I don't know, think about those things as you move on into your life. As a trans person, I'm definitely very cautious of people who come onto my streams. Yeah, and, like, in some instances, that would be seen as, like, you being overprotective, right? You being guarded. You needing to lighten up. But your experience, which I can only relate to as far as I shared experiences between people and what I know of the scratching the surface of what I know of what you live with and go through, and in that, like, I haven't been in your shoes, so I can only relate so much. But at least from my understanding is, like, new people coming in with compliments might be part of people fucking around. In the same way that, like, like trolling, but it's not trolling, it's just hurtful behavior. Like, I understand. You unfortunately have to be on your toes when it comes to stuff like that. And it sucks that you have to do that. But to ignore the possibility that you need to do that is foolish, unfortunately. In my case, I made a joke of a comment, and the streamer took offense to it and gave me a warning, but turns around and decides to ban me over it. Yeah, I mean, so the thing I will say is, Zeno, is jokes are tough because in the best of circumstances, they can be taken out of context and taken wrong. And typing jokes is hard. Do you know how many people who have professional comedian in their bio on Twitter get real responses to their jokes? Like, responses as if what they said was truthful and they were being 100% honest. Like, they weren't crafting a joke on Twitter. Like, people who are paid professionally to be comedians get their jokes taken out of context and misunderstood constantly. So, like, it's hard to not read a joke wrong. It's tough. I mean, sometimes people are making very fun jokes in chat, and I'm like, I do not get what you're saying. And they're like, oh, no, I was saying this because of this. And I'm like, oh, you made a joke. Cool. I didn't know what that was. That happened to me on Wednesday. You know, it was just like, I do not get this reference. And it was like, oh, no, it's a reference to this. I'm like, oh. But yeah, people are guarded. People take care of those. Yes, Lord Crescent says L. That was a joke that I just could not parse. You could just say my jokes are bad. Lord Lashbrook, I am not saying your jokes are bad. I am saying that, like, the written word as a medium is fucking tough. Like, sometimes I write jokes, and if I feel like it's going to get retweeted, I will immediately reply to my joke with, like, to be fair, and I will actually my own joke in an effort to remove the source of people replying to it. Like, it wasn't a good joke, but my Persona 5 Strikers joke was, hey, let me know when they're dancing all night. And then I replied to myself going, I am aware that in 2018 there was a dancing game for Persona 5. But to me, the joke was, oh, they're striking? Well, let me know when they're dancing. Like, that's the joke. But even saying that, even like explaining that I know that there is a dancing game for Persona 5, I still got people replying saying they did that. Like, it's a joke though, but I made a joke. But I made the joke. That sucks. I hate it. I'm not going to delve into anime tonight. I'm going to tell you this. I'm going to say broadly, I didn't get a chance to watch Horimiya, so I'm going to watch that for Monday. With a dog and a cat, every day is fun. I'll tell you that it was cute. This episode was very cute. You know, the cat is sneaky. The dog is dumb. They're great and very fun. That Jezebel article that was troll bait for mansplainers. Yes. Yeah, I mean, like, that one was very fun because the assumption was that everybody involved made a mistake instead of that it was a joke. Yeah. I don't know if it was worth it for the joke, but it was a joke, and I think that was pretty cool. I mean, go for it. You know, make your jokes if you want. If you got jokes, make your jokes. Let's see. What else do I want to say? Oh boy, this episode of JUJUTSU KAISEN was fucking great. Oh, and they released an update. Yes, the correction where they were like, oh, it turns out we were, where they don't like say, hey, this was a joke. They were like, oh, we don't know how that slipped through the cracks. I was like, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. With a cat and a dog, every day is fun. I like because it is fast and cute. As a former dog and cat owner at the same time, I relate to it. But if it's not your thing, it's not your thing. I get it. This episode of JUJUTSU Kaisen was fucking dope because, look, if you had told me that my favorite odd couple in this show would be Toto and Yuji, I would have said, no way, I definitely don't like Toto. That guy seems like he sucks. He just seems like a strong asshole. Well, turns out he is a lovable asshole, and his partnership with Yuji fucking rules, and them fighting well together is cool. And that was rad as hell. And then people were escaping, which was cool. We got to see Megumi be pretty awesome and trying out some new stuff, which was neat. And yeah, it was, yeah, overall it was like beautifully shot. He's got a new power attack. that was cool, and uh, the only scary thing is Hanamiya, the cursed energy spirit, was talking about starting to enjoy the fight, which is probably a bad sign if your overpowered, clearly superior monster is like, I'm having fun now. That's probably not good. But overall, it's a good show, and I'm into it. Uh, and then, So I'm a Spider, So What was a very heavy episode of people who are not the spider, and I do not care about them. Someone was just like, oh, you're going to regret this or whatever when I tweeted that, like, I tweeted the bring me pictures of Spider-Man, J. Jonah Jameson pound the desk, and that's like me every time they cut to the characters that aren't the spider, because I don't care about them. One guy turned on another guy, and it was clearly it is gonna go bad, and I'm just like, I cannot care. At least Arifuerto, which I didn't think was a good show, at least that understood that we don't care about the other people who are not the main character. We care about the main character and what the main character is going through. In this case, I care about the spider. The reincarnated spider is awesome. There was a B-heavy episode. Yes, B-team heavy episode. Yeah, like, look, do I like some of the world building introduced in that episode? Yes. The idea that some of the isekai kids are dead. We don't know how, but they passed away. They didn't make it. That there might be more than just the dragon and the spider who are not who came back as something instead of humans. Interesting. That the elf has some way of tracking them is pretty interesting. That stuff is cool world building. It's not as cool as finding out that there's a administrator, that somebody up above is watching, that like is basically like, a mod or a host of the server watching what happens. That's weird world building. And the fact that our spider has like an existential crisis because it's just like, what's happening? I thought that was fucking really cool. Also, I like that she has two brains now, like two consciousness, so she can talk to herself, which is more fun than her just talking out loud. She's now talking to, quote-unquote, someone, and I think that's more interesting. Tony says, I built the God SD Gundam, and man, not having small fingers doesn't help that build. Oh, I can imagine. I mean, SDs can be tough. Not all of them, but some of them can be a little rough to get done because they are small pieces. This Sazabi isn't bad because it is a large kit. The Sazabi itself is a large-scale kit, so the SD is still reasonable. But yeah, SDs are not always the most fun things to build out there. So I hear ya. But this has been pretty fun. Anyway, Soma Spider, So What? The spider is definitely getting stronger and more powerful, and I'm excited about that. But I just do not care about the drama the humans are facing. Could not care less about it. But yeah, there's some world building in this episode I thought was pretty cool. Also, the elf has the ability to mess with people's stats. And that seems like weird that she has that ability. Why was she given that ability? What's going on with that? That seemed weird. We'll probably find out more about that. But Hugo, our evil human dude, is, isekai teen, is probably just going to become shittier. Probably not going to be suddenly cool. And like I said, I did not get a chance to watch Horimiya today because it was a busy day of me doing things and exercising and going outside and being on a podcast and doing a lot of food prep for the week. Did a lot of pre-cooking, just getting some stuff ready so that I can, save some time during the week. But yeah, I had a lot on my plate for that. All right, we're going to get these legs together here. We are going to be body complete on this kit. We're going to finish this kit tonight. I definitely knew we would, but we're getting there. But yeah, that's the anime I watched this week. I will I will talk about Horimiya on Monday, which is good because I only have 2 other shows to talk about on Monday. So that'll be a third thing to chat about because I've dropped a bunch of stuff. And generally, stuff that comes out on Sunday and Monday, there's usually not a lot. I hope this next episode of Jobless Reincarnation is better than last week's episode, which ended with cool information that we were told without really seeing. So I'm hoping that this next episode has more cool shit. Because I like cool shit. I think we all do, right? We all like to see cool shit. Alright, so we'll put that back there. Again, Monday, next stream, gonna work on something new. I will have a poll for $10 patrons tomorrow. We'll be able to vote on what I build on Monday. Put that poll out. Excuse me. Sorry, I'll put that poll out on Monday for them so they can vote on what I build. I've got Fox hates cool shit. Oh, I'm sorry. Well, you know what? It's not for everybody. I understand. Some people like dope shit. You might be more of a dope shit person than a cool shit. Or you could be a weird shit person. Some people, they're only in it for the weird shit. I get that. I need to watch the last 2 episodes of Jobless, but every time I go into the Funimation app to watch it, the subtitles are in Spanish. That is a problem. Lord Crashington asks, what about dumb shit? And I'm not a big dumb shit fan, but I do know that they have there are pros and cons to dumb shit, and if you're into the dumb shit, like, enjoy it. Dirty, I ran into a thing where I was watching I was trying to get back into Skate the Infinity, and it was letterboxed for some reason. Like it wasn't full widescreen. It was like letterboxed, and I was like, that is definitely not something this show would do. What is happening? And I don't know what that was, but it was weird. All right, so we'll put that on there. Get our backpack on with our. Luckily, we don't have tiny missiles to put on this, so that's good. Doesn't look great. This backpack doesn't look great on this kit. Just because, scrunching it down, it definitely isn't the best part of the kit, is the backpack. I mean, the render we have doesn't even have the backpack on it. And then the art that's here, check this shit out. This render has them colored. Let's see if we can get that there. Yeah. That is inaccurate to this design. So that's fun. They just didn't do that like that. That's cool. Just gonna lie to me. Neat. All right, we got a gun. We got a shield here. Let's get our shield on. Let's get our stickers. We're gonna put our stickers on first, and then we're gonna put our everything together here. We'll do some panel lining on it. It's like that new Justice League trailer being in almost 4:3 format. Yeah, it's so weird. I miss working in a comic book shop because the dumb shit was through the roof and was great. Yeah, I don't doubt that. That is definitely the home for some dumb shit. Is retail, is niche retail, because I had that couple years that I worked in a import store that focused on animation. It was a Japan import store. It was an otaku nerd store. But I had a whole lot of just some real like, what are you saying shit? Very strange. And when we moved out of the mall and into just a retail location that was not in a mall, we got rid of the dumb shit actually went up, because then people had to all our customers were people that wanted to be there instead of people who just wandered into the store because they saw some Hello Kitty stuff in the window and were like, what's this store? Oh, what's on the TV? Oh. Instead they were just like, hey, how come there aren't any new episodes of Dragon Ball? And it's like, are you asking me why we don't have new fans, more episodes of Dragon Ball? A show that has not aired, there aren't new episodes because they aren't making new episodes. What are you talking about? They made all the episodes. What do you mean? That was a question I got more than once. I was just like, what? There aren't new episodes of Dragon Ball because they're done making Dragon Ball. What do you want from me? What are you talking about? Oh, some real goof stuff over the years. Oh, I got a YouTube comment there. Oh, nice. Thank you, person who gave me a YouTube comment on one of my videos. I'll look at that when the stream is done. Anyway, I'm trying to do escalations in Hitman, and that's been rough because some of the Hitman 3 escalations are not easy. Also because a lot of the escalations, like they should be doing that, right? Good escalations should make me do things that I'm not comfortable doing, like using a sniper rifle. I don't want to use a sniper rifle in Hitman. I want to push people off things or hit them with a thing and then snap their necks. Or poison them. I don't want to go from a distance and hit them with a sniper rifle that's powerful enough that they fall back and disappear. Like, that's just not my style. That's not my play style. But, like, if it's an escalation, they're going to tell you to do a thing, and you got to do it the way they want to. And I'm like, all right, I'll get better at this, I guess. But this isn't how I like to play. They're pretty good. I mean, they're inventive. You know, they change some stuff up. Especially on maps that you're like, oh, I think I know this pretty well. The other thing is I haven't been playing Hitman 3 long enough to, like, know where everything is on every map. So it is kind of nice to know the maps better before you get into those things. Although they do obviously change it up and add things and all that. But I'm still having fun with that. Anybody playing any cool video games right now? Anybody do anything cool as we kind of get into the home stretch here of the stream? I'll ask if there's anybody doing anything cool, having fun out there on the internet, doing anything rad. Let me know. If you're doing anything, playing any games, watching any TV, watching movies. I don't know. Whatever you're up to. This came out, and that's not good. All right, we'll do that. We finished our shields, and now we'll get the sword done. And this sword is just one piece, which I don't love, but whatever. It's okay. There's a good sniper kill in Sapienza with the telescope. Yes, that is a good kill. You're not wrong, Lord Crichton. That is indeed a good kill. I've been playing Pokemon Go all day because they had a big event. Yeah, I saw that there was a big event. I didn't end up getting involved in it because I don't usually do the tours, but I did see there was an event. Yeah, I was just catching some eggs, walking around, trying to get some new eggs and having fun. But yeah, I saw that. That looked cool. Started playing Mask of the Ninja Remaster and also trying to finish Octopath Traveler. Hell yeah, Tony. Octopath Traveler is great. And then Lastbrick says, I've been playing Valheim and am currently very mad at a troll who is just wrecking my stuff. Ah, it sucks. I'm sorry about that. Fucking trolls. Get out of here, trolls. I did a charity stream today. I played Super Mario 3D World and Bowser Fury until I got frustrated and finished the stream with Fuser. Heck yeah. Yeah, I've been watching some streamers play Bowser's Fury. It seems pretty cool, but also I can imagine getting frustrated with it. And then, yeah, I had a good time when I played years ago when I played 3D World, so that's fun. All right, and we'll just go and clean this up. We got to put a sticker on this sword, but I did it. I did the marker first. I'm experimenting with doing that if you do the marker first or if you do the stickers first. So I'm just experimenting. I don't know what I like better. I think I like marker or sticker first and then panel lining around it, but we'll do this first and see how we feel about that. But we got to put these stickers on here because we might just cover up all the paint we did, but also that way we're not putting paint on the or a marker on the sticker, so that's also good. So mix it and match it. I keep seeing Valheim, but I'm too busy recreating my factory setup in Satisfactory. Hell yeah. Been killing dudes in Control lately. Lots of fun. Oh yeah, I do love Control. I haven't really gone back to it like I thought I would this year. I thought I would be playing more of it in 2021, but I haven't. Oops. The sticker came off here and literally landed on... All right, well. So, look. We could put this... I could salvage this sticker, which fell right here on this. The problem with stickers in SD is they are not good quality. So I'm not going to put any stickers on this blade. We're just going to do panel lining on it, and I think it'll be fine. I'm okay with doing that. It's not my preferred method, but we're just going to go with that because I do not feel like dealing with it, and we are close to the end of the stream anyway, and we will just save ourselves putting some stickers on, and we'll just do panel lining instead. We are going to just say that is a choice I made and not me messing up and just not wanting to try to fix it. I knowingly beat Control the other day, didn't realize it until I went to go see where I was in the story. Oh, yeah. I mean, look, does Control, before DLC stuff, does it, end strongly? Not as strongly as I would like, but it's still good, and I still really enjoyed it. I still had a lot of fun with that game. Really, really liked it. But yeah, I thought I'd be playing more of it this year, and I am not. I'm still playing a lot of Hearthstone, as I talked about earlier. Playing Hitman 3, trying to get my money's worth, enjoying Hitman 3 quite a bit. It is very fun. And overall, a good time. So chill, I've been fuming. Look, that's the real thing, is it's a sticker that goes on the sword, and I'm okay with that. It's my fuck up. This happens at the end of streams a lot, is I just get rushed and I want to finish this because this is, this was almost done, so I wanted to finish it, and I've screwed up, and it happens. I could do one side of the sword. I could put on one side, but I'm okay with not putting them on there. Have a good night. Enjoy your movie. But yeah, yeah. Look, if this was a kit that I was going to display, I'd be more mad. But I'm not. I built this because I haven't done an SD in a while. I haven't done SD on stream in a very long time, and I wanted to see what an SD with panel lining looked like. And overall, I like it better than I would have if I hadn't panel lined it. But this isn't going to go on my desk. This isn't going to go on my wall. This is just a thing I made, and I'm happy I did it, and I'm getting more practice doing panel lining. And maybe tomorrow I'll go, I can't believe I fucked up that sticker. What am I doing? But right now, I'm like, okay. It's the end of the stream, and I'm happy that we finished, and we did. Also, building a complete kit in one stream feels good. This was one stream done, right? This was all one stream, and I am happy to say that this is done and over with, and on Monday I'll build something else. And often, even our high grades take 2.5 streams, so it happens. I'm going to allow that. That's cool. I try to display as many models as possible, even if there are fuck-ups. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think it looks neat. I'm glad I panel lined it. I think it looks pretty cool. And as an SD kit, I think it's fun. Maybe it'll go on my shelf back here because I don't have a lot on the shelf. It might live there because it's a fun little chippy friend. But it's not something that I'm bent over shape of if the sword doesn't look as cool. I'm okay with that. Anyway, what happens now is we raid. That's what happens now. We're going to go back to this screen. I am going to find a cool stream for us to go hang out with. Somebody who's doing some cool stuff. Somebody with a great community of lovely people that is doing neat stuff. And we'll go hang out with them and see what they're up to. And kind of check out what they're all about. Let's see. I have to see how long this person has been streaming for. Because I want to see when they started streaming, because if I want to go there, no. And okay, we are gonna go. Speaking of Valheim, we are gonna go raid my friend Joe Kim, who is playing Valheim. Joe is doing some cool shit, and we will go and give Kim a raid, and that will be cool. Thanks everybody who's hanging out tonight. I appreciate it. Hopefully I'll see you on Monday for the next stream. Talk to you soon. We're going to wait to get this ready. Yeah, my next stream is Monday, 9 p.m. Eastern. A high grade or a master grade? I've got 2 high grades and a master grade. I don't know which one we're going to build. We're going to find out. I got to put a poll up tomorrow and see. And then when that's done, Wednesday, 9 p.m. Eastern, my second ever cooking stream. So please tune in for that. Thanks so much. I hope you have a great night. Goodbye, everybody. Goodbye, 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 goodbye.